Hello, everybody, and welcome to SOMA. This is the next project for the channel. Originally, I had wanted to stream this, but then I thought better of it, and I thought, you know what, this would actually make a pretty decent project. I only recently finished this on the console. I played this on the Xbox One, and I thought that it would be fun for myself to go back through it a second time. Maybe I can find some new things that I missed on my first playthrough, and it's something that I want to share with you guys because I think you'd really enjoy it if you haven't seen this game or you haven't heard of it. This game is actually made by the same company that made Amnesia: The Dark Descent, so it has a very similar sort of feel. I would categorize it kind of in the horror genre. But it's not really bloody, it's not terribly graphic, so if you like things a little bit spooky but you're squeamish, don't worry, this is a really good in-between. So we're going to just start up a new game here, and when I played it on the console, I went ahead with normal mode, where monsters are dangerous and they can kill you. And so this adds a little bit of strategy to the game where you have to sneak around, and it really gets the blood pumping. But I think for a Let's Play, just to do something a little bit more casual, something a little bit more fun, something that I can just take my time with and go through the game with a fine-tooth comb, we're actually going to play on safe mode. So safe mode disables the monster's attacks, essentially. The monsters will still appear in the game, and they'll still chase you around, but they can't actually hurt you. So this is really nice for people who want more or less just the experience of the game. They want to be able to look around, and they don't want to worry about being chased. And if you do want a bit of a challenge, then you've also got normal mode. And it's also going to be fun for me to see the differences between normal and safe mode, if there are any, beyond just safety from the monsters. As far as I know, turning on safe mode does not disable any part of the game. You can still get all of the achievements, all of the areas are still accessible, and pretty much everything else in the game is available. So we're going to go ahead and play on safe mode. Let's get started.
Are you okay, Simon? I think you're bleeding.
Oh, that's nothing. It's just my brain can't stop bleeding from the accident.
Here, take this.
No, that's for later, for the scan.
It's green.
Ashley, I need to tell you something.
Simon, please don't make this weird.
No, it's not like that. Why now?
Who's David Munchie?
Why is there never enough time?
For what?
Christ.
That phone is vibrating very loudly.
Yeah, I'm up.
Hi, Simon Jarrett?
Yeah, that's me.
My name is David Munchie. We spoke earlier.
The brain scan. I remember.
Are you all right?
Yeah, just a bad dream. Are we still on for today?
Yeah, that's why I'm calling. I wanted to remind you to drink the tracer fluid I sent you. It'll help me capture a better image of the damages.
Don't worry, I got it somewhere.
Okay, great. Well, I'll see you in a couple of hours then.
Okay, see you soon.
Alright, well the first thing I'm going to do before I do anything is I'm going to turn on subtitles. That has got to be one of just my biggest pet peeves ever, is the fact that subtitles are generally always left off. And I guess I understand it, because some people might think it takes away from the game, but I just can't play without subtitles most of the time. We can maybe turn on closed caption if we need to later, but for now I think we'll just turn on subtitles. Especially when you're recording a video, it's a lot easier to have subtitles on for you guys as well, in case you're having a hard time hearing things.
The tracer.
Alright, so here we are in our apartment. It's a nice little place. And before we look for the tracer fluid, we can have a look around and just get a feel for how the game controls. We'll get a bit of some tutorial as to how to interact with items and things like that. So I'm playing with a controller, even though I'm playing on PC.
Where are you?
So to open up drawers or to interact with items, you press the right trigger, and then you would use the right stick to push and pull items. And you can also use the right trigger to interact with items as well. And while you're interacting with an item, you can also press right trigger to zoom in on things. So if you're reading text that's too small, you can zoom in on it, which is so incredibly helpful in certain later parts of the game. So right trigger is really the big button that you're going to want to use if you are playing with the controller. So there's a couple of things I'm going to look around at in my apartment. I'm not going to try to spend too much time dwelling in certain areas, but I do want to try and get the most sort of interactivity out of each area as I can, at least looking at the important bits.
Hey Simon, it's Jesse. You working this weekend or what? I knew there was something you were doing. Was it this weekend or next? Anywho, just shoot me a mail or something. Love you, miss you, mean it.
End of messages.
I swear, that guy has the memory of a goldfish. I even sent an email to remind him, didn't I?
So that was a message from one of our co-workers, or our boss, perhaps. And just by looking around the room, you can see some of the things that Simon's into. It looks like he's into photography. He's got a couple of nice photos that you can look at. You can see he's got a nice camera on his shelf. If we want to interact with the laptop, we can see that we had made a draft of the message that we were supposed to send to our co-worker, but we forgot to send it. So we can send it if we want to.
Better late than never.
And you'll also have some other interesting pieces of mail here if you want to fill in some backstory. So this is from the fellow David Munchie who we were talking to on the phone. This is the guy who's going to be doing our brain scan. And we also have an email here from a doctor. And it looks like we're having a lot of issues right now, which is probably why it's a good idea for us to go for our brain scan. The bleeding will continue over the coming months at least, and you will need to come to the hospital a few times to drain the cavity to prevent the blood from building up pressure. Since excessive stress could be fatal, I have written you a prescription to help you with your nightmares. Please read the instructions and medicate accordingly. So that sounds like some pretty scary stuff. And if you open this drawer, I think it's the top drawer, and you read this newspaper clipping, this will give you some insight into the nightmare that we had at the beginning. And it wasn't actually a nightmare, it was more of like a flashback. You can see here that we were in a car accident which caused our brain trauma. It killed our friend Ashley, the woman that was in that cutscene. And we have permanent brain damage from it. The other person in the other car survived. So that's pretty unfortunate that that happened to us. And if you look on the clipboard above his desk here, you can see a picture of ourselves with Ashley. And I can't remember if she's just your friend or your girlfriend, but either way, that kind of fills in the gaps there. And any item that's flashing will usually be able to be picked up and interacted with. Some of them are important, some of them are not important. You can see here that this is just a get well card from our mom. Nothing really too important. But it is nice, I think, that the game points these things out and it actually allows us to see them because it might be important. Get some light in here.
Summer's coming. Hope it's a good one.
So in order to find the tracer fluid, I find that you have to actually try and pick up your keys first at the front door. Because once you pick those up, he'll then pick up the tracer fluid. And he's a Canadian boy, like myself. Except he lives in Toronto, so he lives way on the other side of Canada than I do. So the way that you're going to find the tracer fluid is just by opening up drawers. So you can start in the kitchen and make your way over to the bathroom. And eventually you will find the tracer fluid. It's around here somewhere. I usually find it either in this cabinet or in the bathroom cabinet. So I've kind of looked at everything I wanted to look for in the apartment. So if you come to the bathroom, you'll see that there's the fluid here. So just look around in major cabinets and eventually you'll come across it.
Feels like milk, but the taste, it's like sucking on a penny.
Oh, that's disgusting. Well, it's all for the greater good, I suppose. If they need it to be able to see my brain scan more fully, then that's probably a good thing. So the only things that you need to leave the apartment are the tracer fluid and the keys. So once you have those and you're finished looking at everything, then you can pretty much just leave out the front door. This is a very depressing looking subway, that's for sure. It's not very well maintained.
Jesse.
Hey, Simon. I got your email. Just wanted to wish you good luck and let you know I got you covered.
Thanks. I should be able to come to the store after the scan.
Don't sweat it. I got Matt and Chris helping me out.
Maddie from SNL?
Guess you didn't hear? He's coming in full time, working the comics section.
That's Ashley's job.
Yeah, well, you know.
Forget it. Not doing her any favors by leaving an empty spot. Not like she's coming back.
Well, good luck. Hope they find a way to reverse the whole, you know, dying thing.
Dying thing? You're the worst support ever.
What should I say?
I'll see you later, Jesse. Don't burn the place down while I'm gone.
Over and out, buddy.
So it seems like we have a good working relationship with our coworker slash boss at the very least.
Hello? Dr. Munchie?
Now, I think the dialogue on the train also changes depending on whether or not you sent the email to Jesse. But either way, the subway section is very, very short,
Where is
and
everyone? Thought this place would be busy.
then we're coming into this office, but it doesn't really look like much of an office, does it? It looks like it is like an abandoned building that they're only just starting to fix up or something, which is very, very odd. This is probably going to be a really good spot for me to call it, actually. Just because we are going to be getting into some cutscenes and things like that. I don't want to make these videos too long. So hopefully you've enjoyed the first video of SOMA and you get a good idea for the type of style the game is going for. And the story does pick up. This is just the beginning. We will be getting further and further into the story, and we will be seeing some more kind of exciting things going on. So thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.